Caitlin Clark knew it. If you don't have a long ball, talking about the 26, 30 feet, if you ain't doing the Steph Curry, you ain't got none of that long ball in your game, yeah, you're going to be behind. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen anybody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls in WNBA that have done it in spurts, but, that game I'm watching y'all, the Final Four, I'm like, damn, and I was a hater because, I'm down 2, but she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, damn. Anyone following basketball knows that Caitlin Clark is a supernova, changing how we view the women's game. NBA legends, icons who know the game inside and out, have been left in awe of her brilliance. The excitement surrounding the WNBA has reached new heights thanks to Caitlin's play and popularity. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The greatest of them all, Michael Jordan, has finally broken his silence. MJ's comments about Caitlin are a game changer, and his praise for her speaks volumes. Stay tuned, because what Jordan had to say is nothing short of extraordinary. NBA legend Rick Barry didn't hold back when it came to defending Caitlin Clark. In a powerful statement, Barry made it clear that the constant hate Caitlin has faced from certain WNBA players is nothing but jealousy and fear of her undeniable talent. His words hit hard, putting those critics right in their place. What Barry had to say is something every Caitlin Clark doubter needs to hear, because it shows exactly why she deserves all the respect she's earned. I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that. WNBA great George Gervin also stepped up to defend Caitlin Clark, and his words were just as impactful. Gervin didn't shy away from calling out the disrespect, making it clear that Caitlin's talent is something to be celebrated, not torn down. His statement was an attention grabber, sending a message to everyone who doubts Caitlin. Her greatness is here to stay, and even legends recognize it. Get ready to hear Gervin's powerful defense. They don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. They flying private planes now. They went flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They wasn't doing that. See, she remind me of Tiger Woods for golf. Guys who don't have a huge media exposure are the most likely to give us their uncensored opinions, which is why we will start with a former player who isn't all over the airwaves in retirement. Jeff Teague was a quality starter for most of his 12 seasons in the league, and he was a one-time All-Star and won one NBA championship ring. But he never was a media darling or a highly marketable figure. Now retired, Teague felt free to criticize the WNBA for its treatment of Caitlin Clark as she entered the league with a huge fan base. They played this all wrong, bro, terribly, bro. They was supposed to gas the shit. This is why people don't watch the shit when y'all leave college. Women's sports, because y'all hating on the best thing that's gonna happen to the W. While you can argue that his delivery is raw, the main idea he is conveying is very reasonable. After years of furious debate about the gender pay gap in sports and repeated unsuccessful attempts to raise the visibility of WNBA, Caitlin's arrival has finally got things moving on those fronts, but she still endured a rough welcome. Teague just points out that such an attitude is damaging the league financially, while making it clear that he considers Caitlin to be worthy of better treatment by her peers and managers. Speaking of ill treatment, Celtics legend Paul Pierce deserves some blame for the animosity in the media towards Clark early in the season. The 10-time All-Star has publicly doubted Caitlin Clark early and even caused a racial controversy with his comments about the Fever's fabulous rookie. He has since tried to distance himself from some of that noise and started reluctantly showing some respect towards the Indiana Fever guard. Here is what Pierce had to say after Clark was left off the U.S. Olympic team. You claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. How do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes the most sense. Sometimes you have to say, hey, you guys, this is bigger than the game, which it is. I mean, women's basketball is at an all-time high because of Caitlin Clark. On the surface, his take sounds respectful, but if you dissect the logic behind it, you will see that Pierce is still not totally sold on Caitlin Clark's basketball ability. He believes that Clark should have been a part of the U.S. roster in order to grow the popularity of the sport, but implies that Caitlin didn't earn an invitation on merit alone. Then again, Paul Pierce is one of the most provocative NBA players turned sports commentators, so all of his takes must be taken with some reservation, as he might simply be trying to stay relevant in the media space. Just when you thought the drama around Caitlin couldn't get any bigger, Shaquille O'Neal dropped a bombshell. On Angel Reese's podcast, Shaq held nothing back as he praised Caitlin Clark right in front of her most vocal critic. It was a jaw-dropping moment, an NBA legend defending Caitlyn in the least expected place. His words made one thing clear. Caitlyn is extraordinary, and even her harshest critics couldn't deny it. Get ready to hear it straight from the Big Diesel himself. And I was a hater because, I'm down with truth. Like, she's not gonna hit that shot and bam, like damn. She's not gonna hit that shot, man. Like, if I say 10 times you're not gonna hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth. So I'm telling you now, you just lower it like this. Absence from the biggest sports event of the year may have hurt Caitlyn on a personal level, but it could have been a blessing in disguise. That's at least what legendary NBA center and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Dwight Howard, thinks. He deliberated back at the time that Caitlyn could use the time off to work on her skills and dominate in the second half of the season, which is exactly what happened. The quote from Howard sounds almost prescient when we look back at it. She is a great player, but it's a lot of players that no lie who, as far as basketball-wise, they have the edge over her of why they should be playing in the Olympics right now. Mind you, this should motivate her. This should make her go hard in the gym. The 3 weeks that they off, she should get in better shape. Caitlyn Clark looked much different since the Olympic break, and while we don't know how much the omission from the team sparked her fury and motivated her, she definitely found her groove. Traveling to Paris and potentially sitting on the bench for a stacked team could have thrown Clark off her rhythm, not to mention the possibility of a random injury that could linger upon her return. Dwight saw an opportunity for Caitlyn where everyone else saw only failure and lack of respect, and he was smart enough to realize that a player of Clark's caliber is perfectly positioned to capitalize on that opportunity and prove she is better than most of the players selected ahead of her. Still, with Caitlyn Clark, you always have to take the big picture into account. Hall of Fame point guard Isaiah Thomas was always able to see all the angles, on and off the court. After a stellar playing career that culminated in back-to-back NBA championships for the Detroit Pistons, Thomas went on to work as head coach and executive in the NBA for many years. When asked about Clark, Thomas had a predominantly positive view, with one little twist in the end. He thinks it's great what she's done, and he thinks it's great what the media, the WNBA, and marketing are doing because, as he says, controversy is not good, but controversy sells. Thomas managed to compliment everyone and still point out the dirty business behind all the Caitlyn hate in one sentence. It's no secret that people tune in to follow drama, and by attacking Caitlyn Clark from all directions when she first arrived in the league, the media had a lot to gain. Isaiah seems to be onto something here, though he doesn't want to feed into the very controversy he's describing. Caitlyn Clark has quickly gained grassroots support from Indianapolis fans, but she still can't compare with some of the basketball heroes from the past when it comes to local love. At the top of the list of most beloved Indiana ballers of all time is elite three-point marksman and cutthroat competitor Reggie Miller, who spent all 18 seasons wearing a number 31 Pacers jersey. While you might expect Miller to show some respect to Clark as the new star in his town, he went the opposite way and basically said that every rookie must learn to deal with adversity and competition. He questions what she expected was going to happen to her, emphasizing that she's playing at the highest level against grown women. Miller's perspective, rooted in his experience with the old-school NBA where physicality was the norm, might not fully apply to today's game. Still, Caitlyn Clark is facing challenges beyond mere competitiveness. She's enduring unnecessary hostility. It was never realistic to expect WNBA players to simply welcome Caitlyn without a fight, but the level of resistance she's encountered goes beyond earning her place. It feels like an attempt to push her down. Caitlyn's journey is about more than just earning respect. It's about demanding fair treatment, even if it means standing tall against the odds. Magic Johnson, an active part owner of the Los Angeles Sparks, has offered an insightful analysis of Caitlyn's role in the league. He points out that both Caitlyn and her teammates need to come to her defense. She shouldn't have to fight every battle alone. According to Magic, both Clark and other top rookies have made the WNBA better, and though they'll be tested by experienced players, they bring valuable energy to the league. Magic's encouragement, while emphasizing the need for patience and support, draws a parallel to his own rivalry with Larry Bird that helped revitalize the NBA in the late 70s and early 80s. Magic's high regard for Clark can be seen as a signal that even veteran NBA players respect her greatness. Known for his classy, elegant public statements, Magic's approach contrasts with some of his contemporaries. Charles Barkley, in particular, was a physical player who often sparred with the media, and his commentary on Caitlyn Clark has been both supportive and blunt. Barkley notes that Clark's playing speed improved as the season progressed, attributing early season fatigue to her transition from college to the pros. He points out how this led to more scoring opportunities for her and her teammates. However, Barkley also didn't spare his criticism regarding how some WNBA players treat Clark. He comments that you women out there are petty and says they should be thanking Clark for the increased attention, money, and visibility she's brought to the WNBA. Barkley's humor aside, he gets to the heart of the issue. Clark's contribution should be appreciated rather than envied. Beyond that, Barkley directs his frustration toward the media, which he believes has mishandled the Clark situation. He argues that the media's portrayal of her often includes unnecessary negativity. Michael Jordan has also spoken up, stating that the WNBA owes Clark a lot for her contributions to the game. Jordan calls for changes in officiating, suggesting that refs have treated Clark unfairly and it's time for the league to correct this. His words send a powerful message of support for Clark's impact on women's basketball. Thank you so much.